We have Warner, and she is the founder of Cannabis Basics and Hemp Basics. She's celebrating 25 years of manufacturing cannabis topicals. She is the founder of Women of Weed and Women of Weed Givers. I give you Warner.
Women of Weed gives. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So let's talk first about cannabis health and beauty aids, or CHABA, because there is still so much confusion around it. On July 1st in 2015, Washington State was the first, and to this day still the only state, to legally define cannabis health and beauty aids. CHABA products are topicals, less than 0.3% THC, which means less than 85 milligrams in a 1 ounce container, and non-intoxicating. We defined CHABA and removed them from the Washington State Controlled Substances Act. Furthermore, it was the first removal of anything cannabis out of any state's Controlled Substances Act. It's a profound piece of cannabis law that almost no one knows about. And 4 years later, the sky has not fallen, and Washington State consumers are still the only consumers in the entire country that can go to their local grocery store and buy CHABA. So Washington has led poorly in medical marijuana, adult use marijuana, and industrial hemp. Yet we continue to lead the rest of the country in this tiny little niche of cannabis. So thank you for supporting Cannabis Basics, and thank you for supporting other manufacturers like mine that produce products for the mainstream marketplace. So now for something completely unrelated. How many of you have ever heard of Women of Weed? Yeah. So I founded Women of Weed right here in Seattle about 6 years ago. We just celebrated 6 years. If you've never heard of us, it may be because we started as a private social club with a limited membership. But you can be sure that if you've been in this community or in the movement, you know several signed Women of Weed members. Being a part of Women of Weed has given its members something many of us didn't even know that we needed. Making money off of WOW was never part of the plan. But based on the level of intense curiosity, we knew that Women of Weed, the brand, was not only something that people wanted, but it was something that was worth protecting. Over the past 6 years, we have filed 4 federal trademark registrations for Women of Weed. This is a measure that brand owners must do to protect their intellectual property. This past year, we were excited to launch Women of Weed Gives, our revenue-generating arm. By selling Women of Weed t-shirts and mugs and pins, we now can create revenue, and the best part is all the profits go back to women-run, women-owned nonprofits in the cannabis and hemp space. At Women of Weed, our agenda has gone from having no agenda at all, besides having fun smoking weed and using the love of our brand, to support the efforts of women moving our community forward with integrity, while striving for social justice, an evolution to be proud of for sure. Unfortunately, Women of Weed has had to fight to defend our intellectual property rights with an entity that I have personal relationship for over 20 years. You can go to Forbes.com and search Women of Weed, or pick up the latest edition to Northwest Leaf to get all the details about the conflict, but with an entity that most of us consider family, who has intentionally attempted to steal what we have, what the Women of Weed rightfully, legally own. What I really want to talk about, though, is the broader topic of integrity in community. Do you think that you are a person of community, of integrity? Do you surround yourself with people of integrity? There have always been issues in our community, y'all, but what I'm seeing now is intentional wrongdoing. I knew that legalization and the money that came with it would change everything, but I was not prepared for the backstabbing and get-over mentality that has sieged our industry, community, and country. We have got to rise up. We have got to hold ourselves to a higher standard, and even when others don't. We cannot let our president, with no moral compass, continue to lower the bar and set this ugly tone. We are better than this. We deserve better than that. We must be brave enough to take responsibility for our own ill actions and say I'm sorry, and then move the hell on. And I do have a quick update about our conflict. We have finally gotten that apology. So thank you for those being able to say I'm sorry. And now we'll move on. Only then can we press forward and build an industry and country that we can all be proud of. I encourage you to find out your people of integrity and build a community around them and cannabis. Foster a place where you can actually physically come together and do things. I promise you it will enrich your life like WOW has mine. Call your new group the People of Pot, the Sisters of Perpetual Sativa, or the Dudes of Dab. Just please don't call it Women of Weed. That name is now loudly and proudly spoken for. If you are interested in Women of Weed, Cannabis Basics, or the Normal Women of Washington, we're all under one tent at the south end of the park. Enjoy your festival. Thank you for listening. Love and peace. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Oh, that was awesome. So,